I already missed my gaming stream for last month, and I didn't want to drop two things so close together. Instead, keeping things in the writerly vein, I thought I'd share some behind the scenes footage with you guys. As you've been watching already, this is my crack at making a digital version of the world map for my book, The Sacred Tears, The Dance of Iris. The original I drew and then painted on a cheap paper scroll, which if you pop over to my website, you can see a video of it on the opening banner. That's tiffanygrant-choosethepen.com as a little self-plug right there. You'll find blog posts, pictures, videos, and so on the page. And eventually, once I get my first book officially launched, a little shop for you to snag your own copy. And yes, that's right, when I get it launched. Not sure if I've officially announced this to you guys yet. With my to-do list, I easily lose track of who I've told what. But in case I haven't made an announcement on here, I am now. Yes, I am finally going to be publishing my debut fantasy novel, Sacred Tears, The Dance of Iris. I've researched and wrestled with it for quite some time, and I finally decided to go the indie author route over traditional publishing with this thing. Which, while there are a lot of benefits, there is the drawback of figuring out all the things for yourself, this world map being case in point. I think one of the biggest ways my time gets eaten up in all these things is the amount of learning new programs I have to do. I am by no means a pro at the Photoshop world. There are so many tools that are supposed to make my life easier, but I'd have to know they exist to even know to look up tutorials on how to use them, or my other problem of clicking something I didn't know I could and accidentally hiding a desperately needed toolbar. I think I did that very thing at least 3 times, if not more, on this piece alone. Other thing I am only recently discovering are brushes on Photoshop, like the amounts of the stamps for like the mountains and the trees and the things. Yeah, I was doing all of that by hand before. I didn't know that there were brushes that did it for you. So, yeah. Granted, I've grown a lot since my first go at this. Like, look right here. That monstrosity on the screen was the very first art piece, if you can call it that, I drew using my Wacom tablet. It wasn't even in Photoshop because I couldn't figure out how to use the drawing tool. I think I made this in either Paint or Clip Studio. And yes, it's a defunct taco, in case you couldn't tell. My super awesome friend Jen gifted the Wacom tablet to me to help me pursue my writing and YouTubing dreams. She is so sweet. Oh my gosh, I literally cried when I got it. I didn't know it was coming. Yeah, that was probably one of the most thoughtful gifts I've been given by a friend ever. And yes, she is a massive fan of tacos, so it only seemed right to draw that in honor of her. Anyway, the point is, I've grown in Photoshop, but I've got a lot of growing left to do. Wait, Tiffany, back up. You said you're publishing your book, but didn't tell us anything else. Don't leave us hanging. I'm sure is exactly what you're all thinking, right? Well, if not, you're in luck because I'm going to answer those questions anyway. I have finally been able to hire both a cover artist and book formatter to bring my story up to the professional level. As stated before, my skills just aren't at that artistic range yet. It'll likely take a couple months to get that put together. In the meantime, I'm working on making some book-related goodies to go along with the launch. Things ranging from the world map to character designs to bookmarks and stickers, all of which I'll be testing out to see which company is the best for like printing service quality and basic price-wise. Woohoo! Trying to afford my bills, which is why, for the official launch, I plan on doing it through Kickstarter. I want to make an ebook, paperback, and hardback version of my book, and make it so people don't have to just go through Amazon for those wanting a copy. And while I can use programs like Ingram Spark to do print on demand for, say, Amazon and Barnes & Noble, I'll have to keep some degree of physical stock on hand for anyone wanting to buy directly through me, meaning I'm gonna have to pay to print that stock. And there is the eventual desire to be able to release an audio version of my book, which costs a pretty penny to produce. But honestly, I just want this story to be accessible as possible for others. I get it, reading a book in certain formats can be hard for some of us. With my dyslexia, ebooks just don't mesh for my brain. There's also something grounding for my mind and body to be able to hold those pages and feel the full weight of it in my hands. Maybe it has something to do with the whole neurodivergence thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm just what my brother-in-law lovingly calls special. I have no science to back it up. But I also know that for some people, to best digest information, they need to be able to do something alongside listening. Or there are some that are unable to read printed or digital text altogether. Hence my hope of affording the ability to make an audio version. I made my own crack at it once in this video on my old YouTube channel way back when, but the audio quality in this video is terrible, and I knew so little about editing at that time. I tried again on my current gaming channel, Choose the Mouse, under this video, which had a better sound, but didn't have the same time put in it for the music backing, which I really missed. Either way, it is a chance for you guys to listen to the first couple chapters of my book for free, so there's that. All that to say, be on the lookout. The Kickstarter is coming. Side note, do you guys have any idea how many books get launched through Kickstarter? There are so many cool projects on there. If you're looking for something new to read and really want to support the indie writing community, that might be a fun place to start. Just saying. So yes, I'm hoping to get everything together by the end of this year. And guys, I have so much cool stuff in mind for this launch and just the world of Sacred Tears overall. The Dance of Iris is the first in the main trilogy, and I'm working diligently on writing the second. I also have 3 prequel novels, 2 novellas, one from each of the main characters' point of view, and one that shows how our central villain became who they are in the trilogy. And I have 2 spin-off novels in mind for 2 of the less centralized characters of the main trilogy. Now, I just gotta learn how to pace my writing better and balance that out with learning all the business and marketing side of things. If I ever make a post on here about having a mental breakdown, you'll now know why. Some people dream of making great book sales for the fame and fortune. I dream about making enough money to hire someone else on all the business technical stuff so I can quit having stress-induced nightmares. Everything is fine. But enough about my potentially declining mental health. Let me actually spend a few seconds talking about this map. Overall, it took me about 9-ish hours total to complete. Probably longer if you factor in the research time it took to find all the new cartography-based Photoshop brushes and new fonts I used. By the by, this is the website that gave me a crap ton of the free cartography brushes. If any of you guys are making maps in Photoshop, definitely make sure to show this creator some love. Their stuff saved me big time in all of this. Oh, and I also used the brush pack from Jazz Studios on YouTube a lot. Those have been helping me in many of my projects. In making this map, I had to not only scale down its size, but even cut out some good chunks of landforms from the original in order for it to fit inside my book. I've seen books with fold-out maps inserts that I'd love to have, but I have yet to figure out how to get those printed under companies like Ingram Spark. So I thought it'd be better to just try and focus on the main geography for the Dance of Iris, doing my best to highlight the locations they actually visit. I've put in an order this week to see a test print of the map. I want to make sure the words are legible and if anything isn't translating to paper properly before I have this ready for distribution so I can fix anything along the way. The tail end of this video, I'm switching creative gears a bit to show you guys 2 other items that'll be used for launch goodies. This here is me designing one of the bookmarks for the story. I had the idea to make a cracked crown with daffodils in front of a castle wall, as each element represents certain developments in the book. But shh, no spoilers. I do have to give myself a big old pat on the back with this one because I'm so happy with how it came together. I've never done a stained glass style like this before, but I'm in love. I think it's probably the Disney kid in me, because my sister said it very much gave her Beauty and the Beast vibes, and I definitely see it. It was both difficult and very easy, somehow, to accomplish at the same time. Once I could break down the parts in my head better, it just really started to flow together. I still plan on making another bookmark, but this time in more of a watercolor style. Also something I've had no experience with. Here's hoping for a good result. My thought process with the bookmarks is I'd like to make one side be my original artwork with hints to the story details and themes, and the other side perhaps part of the final cover art of the book itself. Next thing I'm going to have to do is find an affordable bookmark printing service so I can distribute them properly. How many of you guys out there enjoy getting a new bookmark with a new book release? Let me know in the comments to help me get a rough idea of how many I'll need. Please and thank you. This final juncture of the video jumps right over to the character creation realm. I discovered this online server, MetaHuman Creator, thanks to a TikTok, and guys, this is a life changer. I want to make more art around my characters, but at my current artist level, I just can't do realistic forms right from scratch. They look a little deformed. So I've used this free program to do my best to sculpt together the main 4 of my story. This one in particular is Kyle. Sure, it has limitations. For one, it lacks any way to give him his chin scar, but it becomes an amazing reference tool for different facial reactions and angles, which I can then use to make original pieces. So I'm excited. And there you have it. A map, a bookmark, and one of my little scallywags from the story. I hope you guys have had fun getting a chance to peek into my artsy process, and make sure to stay tuned for more book launch news.